Director, thank you very much for your kind words, madam. Thank you, and all other faculty and my young, bright students. And I'm glad I wore a jacket because I see everybody looking so smart and the girls looking very beautiful. So really very nice to be over here to see bright, sparkling people. In spite of the economy going down, you're looking all smiling, so I think there's a possibility here. So, I thought I'll share a few thoughts first, and I'm going to relate a few stories also. And then I'm going to leave some time open for question answers. The best of me always comes out not in the first part, which is what I will speak, but the second part when I interact with questions. So if you want the best of me, then you got to be ready with a few questions. And if you don't like my speech, please don't ask any questions because then, I don't want to waste your time. We'd rather go home or do something else better. The first thing I wanted to share with you is the fact that I think life is so much fun that you cannot imagine. And it's not the college that is only fun. I promise you, the life itself is all fun. And the more you do in life, the more you enjoy it. So when you said you multitask, the question is not the question of being able to do work harder as far as the multitasking is concerned, but because you really enjoy what you do. Just to give you an example, I speak to college students at least once a fortnight during the time. So I enjoy speaking to students. If you go to YouTube, you'll see I spoke to IIT students, and a couple of months ago, it's on YouTube. I did a TED talk a month ago, and I really enjoy each and every aspect of that part of it. And otherwise, it's impossible to do it because you're so busy. So that's how it happened. And then the other thing that was mentioned as far as my CV was concerned, thank you very much for a big introduction, was the fact that besides my business, I also take care of 17 colleges, 8 schools, 2 hospitals, and 3 temples, and a skill development center. So if I didn't love it, or I didn't like it, can you imagine one wanting to do all these things besides running a company of real estate also? So I also do real estate. That's the kind of thing that we do. So what's the secret? The secret is really to understand, to not like anything that you do, but just love it. And the moment you start loving it, everything else falls on the side. So if I'm speaking to you, if I don't love it, I promise you, I would rather go for a holiday, vacation. It's lovely to go on Marine Drive for a walk or have a drink or something else as an alternative. But no, the moment you kind of focus on the thing that you want to do, that makes a wonderful change what it is. The first thing you have to understand is that we have to learn to focus. And that's an extremely important part of life. Those who are looking at their girlfriends or their boyfriends know that how to do that very well. I don't have to teach you. But when they have to do anything else, they forget. Because they don't understand that that's the kind of focus you need for everything that you want to do in life. So whether I attend to an issue in a hospital, or whether it's a school, or it's a real estate project, or it's a lecture, or it's anything, you just got to focus. And the moment we have 10,000 things to distract us, and we have one mobile phone, which is equivalent to 10,000 other distractions that you have. So the secret in this whole situation of life, of what makes me successful, is very simple. Whatever you do, you got to do it with a focus. Just pick up that item and say that I'm going to focus and do that. And it's really difficult because we have so many distractions in life that there is no way by which you and I can actually focus. But once you get habituated to learn to focus on whatever you're doing at that particular point of time, irrespective of the distractions that you have in your hand or otherwise, or your thought process. We have 50,000 thoughts in a day. But if you want to do something, you got to learn to focus. So when you go into the world of working, in life, doing a business, anything that you really take, you got to learn to focus. So when the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, decided that he wants to take up the issue of Kashmir of 370 and 35, in the last 7 months, he has a focus on that. So how to get the legal part done, how to get the military done, what should be the strategy of the international issues. He had to fight an election during the period that he was preparing. So there were 1,000 other distractions which the Prime Minister has on a daily basis that he was doing. He didn't do that. What did he do? He did all those things. So he did 50 things, he did 500 things, he did 5,000 things in the last 6 months. But on the issue of Kashmir, he just had a focus. That point was totally clear. 35,000 military have to be shifted there. The last moment, the yatra to Amarnath must be cancelled. The people, the legal part of it was studied by all the people. Mr. Doval, the strategic advisor to the Prime Minister of India, was put into position. Only 5 people in India knew the plan for it. But this one man had a focus on the subject that he did, in spite of the fact that he had 5,000 other items to be done in the last 6 months. So we always say, oh, I had a distraction because I had to go for a movie. I had a distraction because there was a cricket match. I had a distraction because of that. Nothing wrong with all those distractions. Have all those distractions, have all the attractions, do whatever you want to do. But the prime focus of what you want to do cannot be left aside. So you pick on the item that you want to do in your life, focus on it and say, everything apart, I can do all the rest of it, but I need to do the focus. The second thing which I want to share with you in my life is the fact that in all the work that we do, all the years of work that you will do, you will succeed and you will fail. And that's the only thing that we do not believe can happen to us. So, the first thing which I did, and she was very kind enough not to say about my CV, was that I was originally into textiles. I started my life into textiles, and at that point of time, I also did a little bit of real estate. But I failed in both. Okay? So I was not doing well in textiles, I was not doing well in real estate. And in both I was doing so badly, I didn't know which one to throw away. I had to sell off one because I had debts. I borrowed money on hundis, I borrowed money from a bank, and I couldn't possibly repay everybody and still run the business. So I had to sell one and I didn't know which one to sell. Finally, I got a notice from the union asking for 100% increase in wages. They would have been happy with 10. But they sent me a notice and I took a view that, okay, this is the right time that I got this message, and I sold off the textile division, textile unit. And I continued to real estate and I focused on real estate, and there was no looking back. So the most important thing to know is that all people who appear to be successful in their lives have also failed many times. There are lots and lots of stories like that. I'm just giving you my own story where I also failed. And there are so many negatives about failure that really you should not worry. And it's bound to happen. And if you don't learn that you can fail and you can have a bad time, then the latest example of a person who was not willing to accept failure is the person from Bangalore who owned Coffee Cafe Day, CCD. Now the point is, nobody ever taught him that people in life can fail miserably, fall down and get up again. He never learned that, because in all his life, he always had successes. And when failure hit his face, he didn't realize that he should face the consequences of failure and get up again. He didn't have the advantage of hearing what I am telling you today, to see that even when you have failure, you will fall down, you will get hurt, you will have pain, You will have a negation, but you have the opportunity to get up and go ahead again. Yes, emotionally it hurts you. You find it difficult to face the world, difficult to face your families, difficult to face the people who have trust and faith in you. But the answer is, you really need to understand that you can get up again. Otherwise, you'll land up in the position of a very successful person who made one of the greatest successful entrepreneurs in India. What a great guy. What a wonderful, successful man he was. And he could not face it because he didn't learn the fact that we all have to fall down at some point of time in life. So that's a very, very important factor to learn. When you go out into the world, you must remember that we will all fall many times. And even if you fall hard, even if you fall badly, you'd have to learn to get up again and say, okay, yes, I've fallen. Yes, it's bad. Yes, it's not working, but it's going to change again. So all these issues that we talk about is going to be useful in your life to say, yes, we can do. Another factor which is very interesting is the fact that I have learned over a period of time is what I call one page at a time or one step at a time. The things I don't like to do, I do only one page. What I don't like to work on, I just do one step. And let me tell you about the subjects in BCom. There were one or two subjects which I didn't like. And what did I do? Actually, I would keep those books and I would turn one page every day and then throw away the book because I hated that subject. So I would read only one page of that book. And the books which I liked, I could read 10, 20 pages and it was easy for me to do it, and those subjects were easy to learn and I didn't do it. And the shocking part was that in my BCom examinations, I did the highest in a subject which I did not like, simply because I learned to do one page at a time. The secret is that today I read 15 books at a time. And 15 books at a time because I have a page marker, and those books I don't like, they're lying on my table for last 6 months because I just read one page, 2 pages, keep it aside. And the other books just vanish because you love those books, so you read them and you don't really need to tell me to read. But today, I've done an extraordinary thing. I picked up a book on memory. My memory has become very bad. I'm 69 years old and I'm slowly getting senile. My memory is fading, so I don't remember things as much as I used to do before. So I picked up a book on memory and I started turning the pages, and bloody painful. Because it shows me that what I believe to be true is really happening. I'm forgetful. My memory is failing. And this book is very interesting. It's a pictorial book. So it's very, book looks attractive, but it's horrible because it shows you that, your memory has fallen down. And what I've been doing in the last 6-8 months is really to turn a page at a time. Every 2-3 days, I read one of those pages. And believe you me, I got so many ideas and thoughts that have come up now that in the last 6 months, at age 69, my memory started improving. And I couldn't believe myself that it would do it. And it was the most hateful subject. Can you imagine that if you think you're getting senile and old, etc., and your memory is falling, you're forgetful, you forget names, you forget people and whatnot. And of course, I meet thousands of people, but still I feel bad when, somebody who's a very good-looking person, and he comes forward and I say, I can't remember, I met her somewhere and I can't remember where is she. Of course, finally I found out she was a movie star and I saw her on TV and I thought I'd be meeting her. But anyway, the fact that I could remember the face, etc., I felt very bad. But today, my whole style of working is to pick up a subject which has no relevance to whatever you wanted to do, and you can possibly do it. The other interesting fact that I have learned from my life, and I want to share this with you, is the fact that you can learn at any age. So you are graduate students, and you have finished your education, and you will go into the learn into the working part of it. Many of you, some of you may further study also, but many of you will start going and getting jobs, works, entrepreneurships, whatnot, startups, whatever you want to do, you're going to do. But remember one thing, that whatever is the knowledge that you've learned, whether it's an MBA course, whether it's a finance course, whether it's a management course, whether it's a chartered accountant's course, any course that you may have done, remember, it will be out of date in the next 10 years. So if you don't keep learning of whatever is the subjects that you're talking about and learn every single day, you will actually be going downhill very quickly. Because whatever is the education that you have got, whether it's at Harvard, Sydneham, management, best court, chartered accountancy, you name it. There is no course in the world where the learning stops. It has to go on. You have to continue to learn. And you can, luckily you have the internet, you have so many other facilities available today, which was not available yesterday. You have even online courses to pick up new ideas and thought processes of what are things which are going there in the future. So that's an opportunity really to take up and to see that you pick up new ideas and thoughts every day. Because otherwise you will become obsolete and old, like I am. So if you all want to be bright, you have to remember that whatever it is that you want to learn, you have to continue to learn and do it. The other aspect which I want to share with you is the fact that even if you have gone down in your life, and if there are certain aspects about you which you want to start at any age whatsoever, you can do it. And I'm going to share 1 or 2 or 3 stories on that. The first story I'm going to talk about is my health. At age 48, I had overworked from the time I was 27, 28 when I started working. At age 48 already I was quite successful, not as much as I am today, but I was successful in my real estate business and it was doing extremely well at that point of time. But I was invited for my school alma mater, Campion School, and I was asked to run with the old boys. They called it Old Boys Association, and I'm talking about 20 years ago plus, 21 years ago. And they made me run 20 meters. You know, they're very kind and considerate, old boys. 48 years old guys come to school. So there was some, I think sports day must have been there or something like that. And we were asked to run 20 meters. And I ran 20 meters. And at the end of running 20 meters, I was, and I suddenly realized that I had really neglected my health. I was really down. I got scared because I said, if this is what has happened at the age of 48, what's going to happen at 60? You know, I'll be finished. I don't know what's going to happen to me. And it suddenly struck me that I had been negligent about my health for so many years that US dollars. And this is many, many years ago. So the opportunity in terms of the new generation, whether it's startups, whether it's businesses, whatnot, in the new generation is so much that there is an exponential limit because capital is more easily available today than it was there yesterday. There was no capital available during my time. No banks ever gave money to real estate and stuff like that. All those things have changed, so obviously there. That story doesn't end there because I also have a son. And my son lands up at age 23. Coincidentally, that age seems to be very dangerous. And those who reach that age, just remember it's likely to happen to you also. Again, Papa, it sounds so same, you know, I mean, boy talking, girl talking, both same tone, saying, Papa. So I said, I want to go to some other place to do it. We went to Dubai. He shifted to Dubai. And he said, I want to start a separate business. I don't want to work under your umbrella. I said, okay, don't like my umbrella, choose someone else's umbrella. Fine, it's okay, I'm not cribbing. So he went to Dubai. Again, after 3 months, again called. Papa, so I said, great, now what's happening? So he said, I want to make a building. Do you mind if I make a building? He was taking permissions. As if, do you mind if I make a building which is taller than your tallest building? So I said, tallest building. My tallest building at that time was 32-story tall. So I said, Beta, why should a father feel bad of a son, doing it? If some competitor makes a taller building, obviously I may feel bad. But if my son makes it, I'll feel proud of it. So why not? Go ahead and do it. Now, how tall is this building? So he said, 90-storied residential tower. At that point of time, the tallest residential tower in the world, residential tower, was 82-story. And he wanted to make at age 23, 90-storied residential tower in Dubai. And he sacked the person I had sent there to assist him. That's on the side. Sons can, daughters, both, children can always do whatever they want to do and get away with it. But anyway, having said that, that building he made, there was a recession in Dubai. He completed that building, 90-storied building. He completed successfully that building. And the best part of it was, out of the profits, he bought me a helicopter. So the last part is the best part. What I'm trying to say is that the world has changed so rapidly that the opportunities in the new generation will change and opportunities will come, chances will be bright, like we do. But remember, the commonality will remain. So the factor that you got to improve yourself every day is not going to change. The fact that you must keep on doing things to benchmark yourself and keep on improving will not do. The environment is going to become good and bad, irrespective of what happened, because there was a recession even in Dubai during that time, whatever it happened. So it's not something which is going to happen. But once you understand that the principles in life are same and standard, you don't have to worry about the changes which take place. In any environment, the story of taking one step at a time, one page at a time, improving yourself, benchmarking yourself against yourself is never going to fail you. You will always be very successful as far as that is concerned. Because whom are you competing with? Yourself. You will never commit suicide because you will always better yourself to what it is. The external environment will change, but the internal environment within yourself has to be kept steady. If you can match those balances in life, I promise you that you will have to be successful. There is no option. People say, I will become successful or not. The answer is, I guarantee you success if you follow that path. So whether it is your health, whether it is your business, whether it is your life, whether it's your love, whether it's your passion, whether it's your hobby, whether it's your interest, whatever you do in life, it doesn't matter what you do. Do it well. Do it with a passion, do it with a smile, do it with a love. Want to do it again and again and keep on improving that part of it. Even if you have to give something, give it generously, give it with a heart. When you do all these things with a heart, your life becomes much more happy. It becomes more passionate. All the other things will not be important in life. If I want some particular thing, I will put enough effort in order to achieve that. And I won't feel the pain of it. I want to go and see the match. I couldn't get the ticket, so I used influence. Ye kiya, wo kiya, falana kiya, dikna. There was a traffic jam. My flight came late, so I rushed over there. I even got a train from the airport in order to come and see the match. I did it. Now, for a silly thing like a match, I do all this. So when you do life itself, and if you're focused on what you want to do, and if you're passionate about what you want to do, if you take interest in whatever you do, there is no way that you will feel the pain of what you want to do. So you study hard, not because the hard study which is taking place. It's because you want to do well. You want to do well for yourself, not because you want to compete with her or him. Doesn't matter. The competition is going to be there. The world will have competition, the world will have changes, but it's not something which really do it. Many times what really happens is that we make excuses for not being able to do something that has happened. You know, there was a distraction. I felt sick. Somebody in my family had to go get operated. This happened, that happened, that happened, that happened is the reason why I failed. But if you're focused in life, you will not fail. You cannot fail. Because at the ultimate objective, if you're focused on a particular thing, failure cannot happen to you. In life, you can fail in a particular matter, you can fall down at a particular point of time, but you cannot fail in life. And that is one thing which our friend from Coffee, CCD, did not learn. If he had been taught that, he would not, because he was one of the most successful persons whom I looked up to. So there was no question about it. But in his mind, he had this kida that I can't take failure. I've been successful for the last 20 years of my life. Phenomenal success that I've done. So when he failed, he just couldn't take it. And this is something which we have to realize all the time that cannot be accepted by us. You have to learn, even if there is a fall, even if there is a setback, your focus on many things can be done. And that is why you will always have a smile on your face. Even though you're running hard to prepare for a marathon. Why does the fellow doesn't feel the pain? He doesn't feel the pain because his objective is to run the marathon. He goes practicing every day in the morning, running, and you watch him and you say, "Arey, kya hai? Pagal jaisa bhag raha hai? What is wrong with him?" It's very simple. He's challenging himself. He's challenging, saying, "I want to run the marathon. I want to do this. I want to achieve this. My son wanted to build the tallest residential tower in the world. My daughter wanted to build a business of her own. I wanted to make the building which is better than the last building that I did." All these things are possible. And these are simple things in life. And if you learn these simple things in life, life is a cakewalk. Otherwise, it's a pain. Because every time you're given a job, what will be in your mind? Bloody hell, one more job. One more thing to do. One more client to attend to. One more thing to do. The thought itself will tire you. Arey, evening hua and I've been given this one job to do. I got this one call. Now I have to stay in the office for a longer period of time. Everything will be a pain in life. But if you want to destroy the pain or forget the pain or put aside the pain of life, all you got to say is, I'm going to achieve to be the best marketing person in the country. But I'm starting with being a better marketing person myself than I was yesterday. So this new client is a challenge for me to use my marketing skills to sell one more thing. And the day I think like that, the staying out late doesn't make any difference to me at all. There is no pain. The pain is in the head, not in the body. Body doesn't get pain. You make me work 14 hours, 16 hours, I will not have pain. But if I do something which I don't like, then I'm going to find it very, very, very painful. Believe you me, I'll hate it. It's a simple story. But if you turn each aspect of what you do into an activity which you will be focused on, which you will take it in a positive way, and you look forward to that, nothing can ever go wrong in life. It may go wrong at that particular point of time, but there is not there. On the real estate side, I can speak for 24 hours. So I'm not going to speak on the real estate more, but what I'm going to do is, we'll have some interactive questions. And if that leads to more on the real estate side, I thought because you're students passing out into the world, I thought it's more important to understand how you have to live life, how you have to focus, how you have to benchmark yourself, how you have to change according to the times, how you got to continue to learn in life. And I wouldn't have said the same things if I was speaking to the students who have just joined the college, because then the whole talk is different. you people are now graduating into the world. You need to know these things, not because you all don't know it, but nobody has brought your attention to these very important things. And unless you don't understand or think of these important things in life, life may be great. You may have everything in life, but you will be so unhappy with your life. The only way you can be happy with your life, progress in life, never feel the pain of any work whatsoever in your life, is to be able to do the couple of things which I have mentioned to you. So life is never a pain for me, never. It's always a pleasure, irrespective of what it is and what the work is. Whether it's charitable work, which is my schools, colleges, hospitals, temples, skill development center. I'm also the national president for NAREDCO, the National Real Estate Development Council. I'm also the incoming president for ASSOCHAM. So I have to prepare myself for a meeting with the finance minister on Sunday. And I'll have to work tonight for 3 hours at night to prepare notes which I will prepare and present to her. But it's not going to be a pain, because I'm looking forward to an interaction with Nirmala Sitharaman, who is the finance minister of India, in order to brief her about the crisis which is taking place just now in the economy. But it's not a pain, it's a pleasure. So over to you if you have questions. Thank you. No question? Yeah.
Hi sir, my name is Ashish. So in Hirandani Gardens, it has a lot of influence of many different styles. The buildings look like they are works of art rather than being utilitarian or just blasé. So do you believe that the modern customer or modern house buyer is looking for more lifestyle indicators or is purely going on a cost basis?
We look at everything. We want an iPhone X, but I want it at 5,000 rupees. So the aspiration value for each person is always there, that you want it, you may even want it free. Like the slum people want all the houses free, which is over there. And they want all the amenities in it. The point is not that. The point is that, what is it that I can give back to society? What will I be remembered for to myself? And what do I think I've given? So I wanted a form of architecture which was perennial, something which would last 100 years and people would still love that type of architecture. So I was searching for an architecture style which after 50 years, 100 years and all, still looked fresh, new, attractive and all that, and gave me a comfort thing. So I wanted to have something which was different, and at the same time it should be there. The second part of your question is what is the pricing? Obviously the pricing is a little more than what it is, but the point is over a period of time it has become much more. Let me give you a story where I feel very stupid. I had built a building in 1991, a building called Lake Castle, which I sold with difficulty at 1,000 rupees a foot in Hirandani Garden. It won several international architectural awards for being one of the best buildings in those days. Now I've made much better buildings, and I've not received awards, so I'm complaining. But anyway, this building I sold for 1,000 rupees. Recently, somebody resold that flat for 32,000 rupees. I feel so foolish, I shouldn't have sold it that time. So price and value is a perception which will keep on changing from time to time, is irrelevant to the main objective of seeing that the architectural style should have something which is very beautiful, lasting, and should remain forever. Pricing, we try to see that it is competitive, because we also have to sell products. So we can only sell products at a price at which people will buy. We sell hundreds of flats every year, both in Powai, Thane, Panvel. We're going to start Alibag. We're doing this thing, and we're doing various other products also. So pricing is separate, and what you commit to society and give back is more important.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Pranay Surana. nowadays, sir, we hear a lot of news that reality spaces are going vacant. And on the same line, we hear the news that real estate is building a lot of NPAs. So I just want to know your views that how can we bridge this gap, like vacant spaces and NPAs.
So the first leads to the second. If the
Yeah.
spaces are vacant, people don't have money, so it becomes an NPA. So the market is in a recession. So obviously, due to various things which happened with the government and external, both demonetization, RERA, GST, and other reasons, the markets have gone into a sluggish. Hence, the saleability has reduced at this point of time, and the overall economy is going through a liquidity crisis. So obviously, you're going to see the vacancy situation which is going to happen, and a lot of builders are getting hurt in the process of that. But that situation will improve, because in every business there is a cycle. So there is a boom and then there is down, and the business cycles take place in the economy all over the world. It's nothing to do with India. Just now we are at one of the bottom levels of society. We just hope that this is the bottom and not the beginning of next bottom. So we are hoping that this will really pick up again and really resuscitate the economy. Otherwise, a lot of builders are going to die, not NPA, but get finished. So we are hoping that the situation will improve. And in one of the issues which are being discussed with the finance minister on Sunday is the issue of NPAs and the liquidity issue. So you've hit the nail on the head. I'm going to talk exactly the same questions which you had, but I'll speak only to the finance minister, not to you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Aishani. My questions were in similar lines. With the recession and the liquidity crunch in the market, do you believe something like REITs could be the next boost in the trade cycle for real estate? And if so, could you explain REITs to us in very simple terms?
Okay, so first let me focus on REITs. The Real Estate Investment Trust is a vehicle of investments for properties which are fully developed and have a rental value, and there are lots of international investors who are taking an interest into picking up those. Till today, only one REIT has been registered in India, done by Embassy from Bangalore. They have done a wonderful job along with Blackstone. So this is the first REIT in India, and it's if you look at the amount of investments into REIT, it looks very big. It's close to $1 billion. But if you look at India, as far as India is concerned, we are now talking about 4,50,000 crores of rupees of investments required to achieve the target of the Prime Minister, which is housing for all. So yes, the REITs is good, but it doesn't serve the purpose of settlement of the issue of India's liquidity crisis. So REITs is a good thing, but it's not the solution to the liquidity crisis. We need lots of other things, by the Reserve Bank, by NBFCs, by Finance Ministry, by those things. The state government are also rationalizing some of the taxes which are being levied, which has just been announced by the Chief Minister at our instance. So all these things are taking place. So REIT is good, and it is going to be a very influential part for the commercial real estate, and but it's not the solution for India, no.
Hello sir, my name is Apurva, and my question is with the entry of co-working spaces like WeWork, who have tied up with Embassy Reality and other firms like OYO who are also venturing into this space, where does Hiranandani see itself in the near future, and how do they think of tapping this market?
Good question. It's a very nice question. Thank you very much for asking this question. It will lead me to one more thing which I should have said, and that is the adaptability of a person to change according to the times. I have a question to you. 30 years ago, Reliance had a division called Vimal. Vimal Fabrics was 30 years or 35 years ago was 95% of the turnover of Reliance. Vimal Fabrics was 95%. What is the percentage of the turnover of Reliance today in textiles? 1%. Any other guess? He's saying 1%. Anybody else? Sorry?
Less than 1%.
Yeah, it's 0.1%. So, in 30 years, Reliance, to be the topmost company in India, had to continuously change their whole outlook in order to remain the top company in India. So what is that other important thing that we learn is that we got to constantly change according to the times. So unless we don't constantly change under the situation that takes place, whether it's a demonetization, whether it is RERA, whether it's a liquidity crisis, whether it's an opportunity which takes place in the country, anything which keeps on happening, you have to adapt yourself to that change. What do we do? अरे हम टेक्सटाइल में ही रहेंगे, मुझे दूसरा कुछ करना नहीं है, मैं टेक्सटाइल में माहिर हूँ, I'm very good in textile, I'm superb in textiles, nobody can beat me in textile, I'll be the best textile unit in the world. Not only in the case of India, but the rest of the world. But if the business really goes down over a period of time, you'll see opportunities somewhere else. And you will have to change according to those opportunities really that come up. So whatever happens in life, you have to understand that you have to be adaptable to the new world. Let me give you a second example. 1991, there were two cars in India. They were called Ambassadors and Fiat. Anybody know about them? Yeah. Where are they? Gone. Maharashtra government gave a guarantee to Fiat that don't remove the workers, don't change the technology, don't remove the 4,000, 5,000 workers from the factory, and we will always have taxis in Mumbai which will be Fiats. West Bengal government gave a guarantee to Ambassador car, Hindustan Motors, don't change the technology, don't remove the labor, there was a communist party there, and they told them don't do anything, we'll continue to it. What happened? Marutis came in, the Skoda came in, the Mercedes came in, all the other cars came in, and Fiat and Ambassador disappeared. Why? Because they didn't change. They didn't improve the technology. They didn't change. In the next 5 years, we are going to have all cars are going to become e-cars. So what happens to all the companies who refuse to make e-cars? Gone. Gone forever. So you may be a damn good car company. It's a fantastic car company. There's no use. Because the environment has changed, the situation has changed. You have to change and adapt to the new situation that is. And treat the change as an opportunity rather than saying, oh God, it'll come back. And we rely on God hell of a lot. Bhagwan sab acha kar dega. Let's go to the mandir and pray. You'll set the whole economy correctly. So no effort to make changes and improvement in yourself in order to do better for this. So you cry, this trade problem has taken place with China, this has happened in India, this is what Narendra Modi has done, this business is going down, this is there, all bullshit, nonsense. What you got to know is that when such situations do take place, you got to put your flag up and say, okay, this is gone, where is my next opportunity? My next opportunity is in e-cars. So you start looking at e-cars and saying, when can I get into the e-cars and get into the technology? 2 companies, 3 companies, Tata Motors is already looking at it, Mahindra has already moved the car, sample car out, 3rd company I know just announced it, I don't remember the name. So 2-3 companies have said, we're going to start producing e-cars from this year. The compulsion is after 5 years. But they're saying they're going to produce now. So what are they doing? They're making changes quickly, fast. Because the environment has changed. So that change we have to do. Whether it's a Hiranandani doing real estate, we have to change according to the time. So, to come to your issue, co-living, co-working is the new in thing mantra for the purposes of doing business in terms of it. So either Hiranandani will look at that opportunity, whether it should be done today, tomorrow or day after. We may introduce it today or tomorrow or day after. But if that's the way to go, that's the way to go. So you have to change in the times. That's what is happening. So co-working, co-living, maybe tomorrow co-loving also.
Hello sir, my name is Shriparna. Sir, with the government putting an emphasis on the smart cities mission, how do you see this as an opportunity for the Hiranandani group?
It's an opportunity for anybody and everybody. You know, if a road is made and the road leads to Hiranandani, they said the road is made for Hiranandani, they don't know there are many other buildings on that road. So if there are smart cities and if I'm smart, then I'm going to be able to take opportunity. But you can't take advantage of every opportunity in the world. So if my son is making buildings in Dubai and he decides to do that, then if I think I should also do Dubai or I should also do London or I should do just because the situation is better, it's not necessarily that way. You see what opportunity suits you and where you can be the better person to do. And second, it's not only money. I'm not saying business is about money. But many times people think it's only money that is important. Like she asked the question about architecture, about the quality of life, about gardens, about maintaining the infrastructure of our projects. All those things are equally important. But most of the people only benchmark money as a factor. That's not the real true thing. If you learn to go, money is essential. And you can't live without money like you cannot live without food and air. So if you don't have air in this room, you need oxygen tanks to have air. If you don't have food for last 5 days, you need food and you're hungry. So similarly, you need money. But there is a limit to where you need money. Beyond that, money is only a vehicle. So if you come to a particular stage, which let's say most of the people do reach at a particular point of time, beyond that, you're not only working for money. And if you are, then you're stupid. So just remember one thing in life. Money is very important ingredient, as is air, as is water, as is food, as is health. So money is equally important. But after having money to the extent that you need and everything else, you can't benchmark the rest of your life only by the amount of wealth you have. Somebody told me, you're on the Forbes list, so you can talk like that. That's nonsense. It's not true. Because I'd like to be on the international Forbes list with the world and compete with Mukesh Ambani and be better closer to Bill Gates also. So if that's the thought process that I have in life, it is meaningless. What would be meaningful is, can I be better myself or wealthier better than I had yesterday? That's fine. Nothing wrong with doing that type of benchmarking for yourself. But there's no need to do anything else.
So we'll take one last question.
Hello, good evening, sir. My name is Pranav. So my question is, what measures can be taken by the banks or NBFCs so that the recent cuts by RBI can improve or revive the real estate industry?
That's exactly the presentation I'm making to the finance minister. It's possible that 50 people will handle it, but 5 will not. That's the unfortunate case of Suraj Parmar also. So we have to see how we can help as many people as developers as possible, as many projects as possible, and we must also help as many farmers as possible. So the government is now trying both of the segments to do, but as I said, they were more interested in the farmers than in the builders. We are trying to say that both should be taken care of, not just the farmers, also the builders and consumers which handle this part of the economy. That's how we are representing on Sunday to the finance minister. Yes?
I read your profile that your father is ANP Sarjan and got Padma Bhushan Award. So, and that point of time when you finished your education, so what fascinated you to choose this business?
I'm the first generation businessman. There was no businessman in my family before me. So my father was a very eminent doctor, the Padma Bhushan, Dhanvantri, very, very famous in the ENT field. And when I got into real estate, my elder brother was also a doctor. So I decided I can't compete with both of them. So I thought if I get into something which I myself am doing, I can compete with myself. So I was petrified because my father was an icon of medical sciences and all. And I was petrified that I will always, I loved him dearly. And, but the point was very simple, that I don't think I could ever have reached his heights. So I felt that if I take up something different, maybe I'll be able to achieve some heights in whatever else that I take, because I can never ever compete with my father. And that is why I never competed with anybody, because I realized that when I can't compete even with my own father, how he can do it. But my children now learn differently. They keep competing with the father and doing better. So, I mean, I can't use that story for you. I mean, you can learn both ways, that you can beat up your father. They beat me up many times, so that's another story for another time.